Hey guys, this is going to be a in-depth guide on every single movement tech possible on console that is surrounded around zips. This is taken me so much time to make, so it would mean the world if you guys could subscribe to me, as I know a lot of you guys aren't. Anyway, enjoy. Basically, I'm just going to be showing you guys how to do almost every possible zip movement tech in this building, and every single one that's possible on console at least. And a lot of these are known to people, and we'll go from easy to hard. So if you want to skip further in the video, then you can do that, and you can find text that you haven't heard of. You can just go to the timestamps below. But we're going to be just going from easy to hard, and a lot of these ones you might know, but a lot of them you might not know, because there are some that don't exactly have a name, but they're still really useful for on console. So first of all, we're going to get into the super jump. So for the super jump, it's the most basic zip tech out of any before. You have to hold when you're coming at the zip. It doesn't matter what floor you're on. Alright, you can be on any floor. So you could be on third, second, whatever. When you're coming at the zip, you want to hold your interact preemptively. You want to hold it before you actually touch that zip. Right? And as you come into this zip, you want to double tap your jump. As soon as you get near the zip, you want to double tap your jump. So simply like that. Like that. Double tap your jump. A big timing misconception that I see with this is people double tapping too late. So let's say someone's chasing you over this way, you're shooting back, and you come to slide at the zip. Some people might do it too late or might miss the jump. So what helps for me is to just focus on that double jump part, because the interact part is honestly the easiest. So it's just interact, jump. The next movement tech I want to go over is mantle jumping. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but a lot of people still don't. And to mantle jump, it's not very hard, but people make it very difficult for themselves, whether it's the jump input or whatever. So that's why I'm putting it in around the medium section. So in order to mantle jump, all you need to do is get into this mantle position, right? So when I'm like this, in this mantle position, you want to just be able to see this roof. And when you just be able to see this roof, you want to climb all the way, flick your stick, you want to be looking down, mind you. You want to be looking down this whole time. Flick your stick back, and then super jump, right? So let me repeat it again. You want to get into the mantle position, right? Look down, flick your stick back, and super jump. So all in motion, it would look something like this. Just like that. And if you don't get mantle jumping down the first time, I don't blame you, because it took me about a couple months to learn. But with a guide, it helps a lot, and it makes things a lot easier. So speaking of that, a thing that a lot of people mess up on, from the people that I've seen or coached or helped do mantle jumps, they get stuck on this super jump part. That's the part where they're messing up on. So they'd get something like this. Something like that. So in order to fix that, you simply just want to focus on the super jump, because that's usually the part where people are messing up. So when I'm doing it, I'm focusing on double tapping my right paddle and making sure I get that input down, because the rest isn't very hard. But yeah, next thing we're going to learn is just mantle jumping on different floors. So what a lot of people don't actually know is you can mantle jump on any floor. It simply just works the best on the roof, because you get sent flying out, just like that. But it can also be helpful on any other floor if an enemy's holding it. I get a lot of people sitting in this corner and holding it, so if you mantle jump out, they're not going to expect that at all. So the timing is the exact same, it's just you get sent to the roof, just like this. And that's all it is. It's the exact same, but you can do it on any floor. So what I thought was a really good implementation of this is specifically on this third floor. And you can pair it with a wall run. You can get up to this door. If you were to hit a clip with that, it's going to be insane. But I think mantle jumping on different floors is a very underrated trick, and I don't see pretty much anyone doing it. So if you are in a fight and you are fighting, let's say a caustic team, you can even do a wall bounce off of this. You can do a delayed wall bounce off of this in the air after a mantle jump. Like for a clip that would be insane, or just for juking your enemies. It's a very good tech. So make sure to implement this tech in particular. And once you've learned how to do it on the roof, right, you want to learn how to do it on different floors. The next tech I want to go over is just elite jumping. Elite jumping is just as useful as mantle jumping in my opinion, and I probably use elite jumping more than mantle jumping. And you could use it in the exact same ways. I'm not going to go over the elite jumping on different floors because it's the same timing as normal elite jumping. And you can do the same like combos and variations with elite jumping. Like wall running on this wall, you can still do that with elite jumping. So simply the way to elite jump is you want to slide into the zip. You have to slide on the zip on console. There's no other way to do it. But you want to slide into the zip, and as you're sliding, you want to be kind of looking down, right? So you want to slide in, and you want to turn around, so you're in this kind of position of the mantle jump, just without the mantle, right? And then you just want to double press your jump. So all in motion, it looks something like this. Just like that. And you can, obviously, like I said, you can do this on any floor, and I feel like it's just as effective as a mantle jump. And if you want to escape an enemy or something like that, then it's really useful. So make sure to implement this into your gameplay. A big tip and a thing I see people struggle with is simply just the turning around part and the timing of that super jump. So just take a bit to get it down, because it is likely harder than mantle jumping, but it is still very doable. Now we're going to get into the advanced. So I don't have too many techs for this advanced part, but this is a part that a lot of people just genuinely don't know about. They might know about it on PC, but a lot of people won't know that this tech is possible, or these techs are possible on console. So this tech is, you might have seen Faye do this a lot. It's where you zip, right? And you want to be on the bottom floor when you do this. He looks up, and then he comes out. So on PC, you're able to tap strafe, obviously. So this makes it so you're able to super jump out, and you can just like fatigue bounce or wall bounce off of this. But on console, you obviously can't do that. So it's a lot less effective, but it's still very good. Let me give you an example of this. So the way to do this is similar to an elite jump, but it's just without the double jump. So you want to slide in, and for this tech, you have to be looking up. You can't be looking down for this at all. So you have to be looking pretty much straight up, right? So slide in, be looking somewhat up at this time, and you want to turn around the same way as an elite jump, and you want to get to like this position where you can just interact with the zip only for a second. So the timing is very, very difficult, but if you can get it right, it could look something like this. Just like that. So you can get a jump on people, and I've had a moment where people are holding this corner here, like one was knocked, and if you can hit this tech, they're not going to expect it at all. And in the way that I did it, you can almost like, I could almost like, once I've done it, I could wall bounce off of this and catch them by surprise. So it's like I said, a very difficult tech to do. Even I struggle with it. But you can chain it with something like that, and it's very strong and very original. So make sure to try your best to implement this. If you don't get it first try, please just rewatch, because it takes a lot of time to get used to, and it took me a very, very, very long time to actually understand how it works. Next, we're gonna go into zip laddering. This doesn't exactly have a name, but it's just a simple way to get up the shaft, and you can barely be shot. The enemy, like, they can't track you. Even if they're sitting up here watching the zip, they can't track what you're doing when you're doing this. So it's simply just, you want to interact with the zip, and you want to get into this mantle position again, right? You want to fully mantle up, flick your stick back, the same as mantle jumping, but instead of wanting to go out onto this floor, you want to go up instead. So flick your stick back, and then get onto this floor, right? So all in motion, it would look something like this. And it's really good for combos or clips or just getting up the zip. So if you want to get to third, it's not exactly fast, but it is still very powerful. So just a quick tip with this, a lot of people would be stuck in this mantle position and kind of like keep holding their forward to go all the way out, and they won't be able to flick back into the zip. So make sure you don't go too far and then just flick back, otherwise you get something like that. So make sure you want to have it all in one motion, flick back, and you can pair it with a mantle jump, something like that. So a really good like input or variation of zip dancing, and something that you can implement into your game that actually really helps, is going up the zip as normal, right? And you can see when you zip dance, you get into this mantle position, so you can barely see them, but they can see you, and you're going up, down the floors, whatever, right? So a really good implementation of this is using a shotgun and peeking them just for a second. So if you, let's say the enemy's on 3rd floor and you want to peek, you can go like this, peek, crouch, right? So when you're in that mantle position, you want to crouch, so you like come off the zip, come off the floor, and you can just shoot. So they can barely see you for a second, but you can see them. It's really good and very powerful, so I suggest you guys use it if you have a shotgun of any sort, like a Mastiff or a PK. And yeah, it's really good for getting a jump on your opponents and getting some extra damage. Now this tech doesn't really have a name at the moment, but I guess you can just call it like a zip to bottom. So the only way to do this is just, you want to get into this mantle position. Once again, you want to get into this mantle position. And what this tech actually does, it is completely surprises your enemy. So instead of you, let's say the enemy's on 2nd floor, instead of you just going down and then zip jumping, right? Very predictable. You don't have very much like a momentum to get in here, so you can easily get beamed, and you're in a very predictable pattern. But if you were to implement this, then the enemy won't be able to track you as much. So you want to get into this mantle jump position, or sorry, the mantle position, right? In this position. And as you like come up, you want to press crouch and flick back, and then you'll be able to get onto this floor with extra momentum. So you could chain a wall bounce with this, or you could chain whatever with this, but it simply would go like, you would get, so let's say the enemy's here, you could be zip dancing, right? Zip jumps up, crouch, go down, and then wall bounce off the wall. So flick your stick back, hold crouch, and you can get straight in there with momentum. So just like that. So like I said, this tech doesn't have a name, but it's really good for clips. You can see people like Marlon or me use it. And yeah, it's just a very good tech to use. So make sure to implement this one into your gameplay. Now, this tech is backwards mantle jumping. I'd say it's even more useful than actual mantle jumping because it allows you to get up the zip shaft so fast, and you can chain it in a way that makes you literally unhittable, especially on console. So the way you want to do this is the same way as you would do a normal mantle jump, but instead of like flicking back and going out, right? You go forward. Instead of doing that, you want to finish the mantle. As soon as you finish this, you want to be turning your stick around, and then you just want to super jump. So let's say you chain it with a super jump. It should look something like this. It's very strong, very powerful, and makes you practically unhittable. So if you want to get a quick hit on your enemy, then this is the tech to use. I use this in nearly all my games, and it's very strong, even just to peek or just to get up the zip. It's very powerful. Now I just want to move into my version of this, or the version that most streamers do. If you want to know people that do this, please look at Entity7X. He's the person that introduced me to this. His links are all in the description, but he is the person that does this probably the most, and it looks very clean and is still very, very doable on console. Obviously, it is more strong on PC with tap strafing because you're able to flick your mouse around a lot faster, but on console, it's still very doable. So the way you want to do this is you want to slide into the zip, or you can walk into it, but sliding works best for me. So you want to slide into the zip, right, and super jump. Once you're in this position, you want to go for your first one of these. So you super jump, come forward to this, and you want to be kind of like tapping your crouch. When you're like here, you're in the air, you want to be kind of tapping your crouch so you get this mantle effect. and then you want to look straight up, right? When you're in this position, you want to look straight up, turn around, and super jump again. So now you're in this position, and you simply just want to repeat that step, and then you can get a peek on top floor. And then you can also chain this with a mantle jump, which is also very strong. So let's say someone is holding up top, you can't really go like this because they still get an okay beam on you in the section that when you super jump and you go like this, that part they can still get a very easy beam on you. All in motion, it should look something like this. So please don't blame yourself if this tech takes a while to learn, because it is very hard, but I'd say it's very important to learn it because you can do backwards mantle jumping off any floor and it is still like as very useful. It's more useful than a peak in my opinion, because once you've shot you can go something like this, move off to the side, and you could be able to get like a 99 off of them, or even you could get a quick spray. So let's say you do it. Quick spray. But yeah, it's very, very strong, and it's definitely a part of one of the advanced movement techs. I just want to show you guys how to do this in Monument as well, because in Monument this is like an even stronger tech than in Streamer, because you can get up the zips so fast compared to your enemies, and then you can just easily spray them from the bottom. So it's the same thing, you just have to take the zip up a bit more, and like I said, it helps a lot when you slide into this. So you want to slide in, do your super jump, get into this position and look up. You want to make sure you're looking inside the zip shaft, otherwise if you don't, you're going to get obviously sent out or sent like that. So what helps is sliding into it, or you can be roughly in this position. Turn around. So the main part that people struggle with is the looking up and chaining the super jump part. So please note, on console it does take just a second to turn around, right? So give yourself some time. You want to make sure you mantle, otherwise you won't get it. And then you super jump up again, and you can chain it with a mantle jump. So something like this works really well if, let's say, an enemy team is chasing me down this way. I can go like this, and I can watch this zip shaft, or if I want, I can also come back down. Let's say the enemy team is chasing me. I can go up, beam them from here, or continue the zip and beam them from here. Because as we know, a lot of console players go straight up zips. And yeah, hopefully my video can help you guys not go straight up zips and be proper movement players. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, please subscribe. We are very close to 5k, and I appreciate every single one of you. I will be adding a settings video soon, so if you guys haven't watched that, please go watch that. Have a nice one. Bye bye.